Give us a good one.
Ka-chow.
Oh, come on.
Ka-chow.
Do it to the camera.
Ka-chow. 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 Ka-chow.
Sad.
Ka-chow!
There it is.
Hey guys, and welcome to GT Not Live, where I'm sitting on the couch and excited to review your memes. That's right, it's another meme review day over on the Game Theorists Subreddit, where it's been a couple weeks. There's been a lot that's been going on over here on the channels, and so I'm excited to see what you have produced for us to consume, laugh about, joke about, all that good stuff. First off, Matt, how are you doing today?
I'm doing swell.
I think we need to check in with Matt. Yeah, you feeling okay, Matt?
Yeah.
Yeah?
How are you?
I'm great.
Well, it's a Monday, so I'm going to ask you how your weekend was.
Oh, see, now you're displacing this out of you ruined
Did I
it.
ruin
See, I was
it?
trying to keep it neutral because I was going to
Okay.
ask you about your weekend. I'm like, no, probably shouldn't do that because this is going to air on like Wednesday or Friday.
I think this actually is going up on a Monday.
Is this actually going up on a Monday?
I believe so.
I might ask you to put it up on a Wednesday or a Friday
Just
once
to
we look at
ruin
it. Just to ruin
Oh,
it.
okay.
But also to mess with the release calendar and also I was going to remind people that if they haven't signed the Jeopardy petition, this is kind of the last big week that we're focusing on it, so that way we can show that we are less than 80,000 away from getting to 300,000 and also surpassing LeVar Burton. So I love LeVar Burton. Like I'm not saying like we got to pass him. I'm saying in order for us to be the #1 most signed petition to be Jeopardy host, that is the reason that I'm saying like we got to pass him. Not at all. In fact, I'm hoping so spoiler alert, we're doing the St. Jude live stream at the end of this year again. We've been working on it all year. It's going to be bigger than anything we've done before. It's going to have more guests than we've ever done. I've been thinking of reaching out to LeVar Burton actually as like him and I as the two Jeopardy host rejects and being like, hey, if they're ignoring us, let's do something together for charity and for kids.
Did LeVar Burton not host Jeopardy?
No, he got to guest host for a while, but he was really angling for like the full-time. Like he was really angling for the full-time job.
Yeah.
And I mean, who knows? Maybe he'll get it, but something tells me who knows? I don't know where it is at this point, but I do know that I would suspect based on the way like the world works, I don't think that he or I are going to walk away with that job, right? And so if us two instead can unite for a good cause and do something better, like that's great.
Yeah.
So anyway, if you haven't signed the petition, please do so. But anyway, how was your weekend, Matt?
My weekend was lovely.
Yeah, what did you do?
I would say I had a lovely weekend.
Thank you, Captain Redundant.
Of course.
Mr. Redundant from the Redundancy Department.
I went to a couple concerts.
Hey, how was that?
They were fun.
Did it feel normal? Were they outside?
They were outside.
Yeah.
And like it was nice because like everybody sort of kept their distance.
Yeah.
And I'm used to being like pummeled at concerts.
Right.
So going to a show where it was like nice outside and everybody was like respectful was crazy.
So it felt mind-blowing, respectful at a concert. No, but right, you got to experience the best parts of going to like a real event, but thanks to COVID, also like there's distance now. So
exactly.
Lots of silver linings there. That's cool.
Yes.
Actually, we did something too. We took Ollie to his first ever baseball game this weekend.
Cute.
Durham Bulls. So not a lot of people in the stands to be. I didn't know if that's COVID or because I've never really been to one of their games. I grew up in Cleveland, and like in Cleveland, baseball and sports are like life, right? And so everyone's hardcore about it. But here, I don't know if with it being a AAA team, how that affects things. But it's a really cute, small, intimate stadium. Ollie had a blast. He was so into it.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Did anybody hit the bull?
So no one hit the bull, but someone hit a home run, which caused the bull
to start
smoke, which blew my mind. So at the Durham Bulls Stadium, which is a AAA baseball team in North Carolina, if you hit a home run, apparently it causes this large cardboard bull, this large bulletin board bull in the outfield to have red eyes and have smoke pour out of his nostrils, which was hilarious to me.
I was terrified of that bull when I was a kid. I'm
I'm sure. It's crazy.
It's so scary.
It's pretty scary.
Because it's massive.
He is huge.
And it's got these red eyes and
does.
smoke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would have been concerned about Ollie, except Ollie was so confused why all of a sudden people were clapping and cheering as much as they were. Like, to him, the scariest part of that wasn't the bull that was smoking in the distance. It was the fact that everyone around him was suddenly, like, on their feet cheering. And he's like, what happened? Like, and it's funny because he was confused, but he was also clapping. It was I've never seen him do this, and it was really interesting to see the, like, people falling in line with societal expectations, I guess is the best way to put it off the top of my head. But like, he's never been to a baseball game. He's never been to a lot of these like big group events just because there hasn't been a lot of them. And plus he's too young for a lot of things anyway. But without even knowing baseball or the game or whatever, when people would like clap and cheer and stuff, he just fell in line and he's like, yeah. And we're like, cool, man. Like, yes. And we would explain to him why people were cheering and the rules of the game and this and that. And he walked away knowing a lot more about baseball than he did before. But it was one of those things where without even like prompting, he just kind of fell into the rhythm of what like everyone in the stadium was doing, which was really interesting. It shows that like shared psychology that humans have.
Yeah. I feel like baseball games are an exercise in cheering and clapping.
Oh my gosh. I think I've mentioned this before, but if you want an amazing cultural experience, go to a Japanese baseball game.
Oh.
If you want an exercise in clapping and cheering,
yeah,
the fans at baseball games in Japan are like unlike anything I've ever seen. So we went to see, we'll have another meme review after I'm done with this story, I swear. We went to a game in Hiroshima for the Hiroshima Carp when we were there in Japan one time. And I had heard like how big baseball is in Japan, so I'm like, I really want to see this. Hiroshima Carp, literally last place team, terrible. The year that we went just had terrible rankings, either last or second to last place. Stands absolutely packed, like not a single empty seat in the house, and the fans were cheering the entire time, and not just cheering like "woo, go team," whatever, like choreographed routines with armography and sound sticks that they sang the entire time. It was like Hiroshima Carp, Hiroshima Carp, and each player has their own individual song and dance. Like it was, and it was nonstop, and it was everyone all in unison doing this stuff. It was unreal.
That sounds like a blast.
It was the most amazing sporting event I have ever been. It is so unforgettable. The seventh inning stretch is wacky because they launched a bunch of balloons into the air. Ooh. The food is really interesting because it's cold, and so people are literally eating like octopus udon, just like bowls of soup and ramen in their seats. It was awesome. If you ever are fortunate enough to get a chance to take a trip to Japan, and there's the opportunity to go to a baseball game, absolutely do it. It was. And I don't know if that was just a one-off. I suspect it wasn't, though. It was so cool. I still really need to go to an international soccer match, football, because I feel like that's another big one. I need to go to a sumo match, which I've always wanted to do, but the timing has never lined up when we've been in Japan. Sumo match, soccer match, and cricket. I really want to see cricket because that seems like a wild sport, and I started to learn about cricket and the rules of cricket, but I'd love to learn more about cricket. There you go.
Sounds like fun.
Yeah. Do you like sports, Matt?
I like sporting events.
Yeah.
I love the ability to yell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and last thing. That's the exact same thing that Ollie said. He's like, am I allowed to be loud here?
Yes.
And we're like, yeah, you can be as loud as you want to be. And he's like, I don't have to be, I don't have to speak in like medium voice or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, you can like shout and cheer and whatever. And he's
it's
like,
the best.
Yeah, he really dug that, which was really interesting. So there you go. No, I think that's a great way of putting it. I am a fan too of sporting events, not necessarily of sports. Like I like going to the event. I like immersing myself in the culture, eating the food, singing the songs, cheering for the teams. I don't have too hard of allegiances to anyone at this point, but it's just a fun cultural experience and a cool thing to do. And it was fun to like finally have that back into like an end of summer routine, which was cool. So memes. Let's talk about memes, shall we? Here we go. What do we got posted 3 days ago from Winter Killer 698? Sad but true. Me watching Game Theory. Yay! Super excited slime. Me waiting for a slime rancher theory. You have died and have passed on. Yeah. Sorry. No, honestly, here's the thing. Slime Rancher is one of those franchises that I don't know, and I haven't had time to research, or there hasn't been enough of a cultural push around it for me to, or at least that I'm aware of, there hasn't been enough of a cultural push around it for me to like force myself or like clear out my schedule to be like, oh my God, I gotta learn about Slime Rancher right now. Sometimes that happens, right? Like Among Us was one of those ones where it's like, okay, clear the decks, I gotta learn about this right now. Or Friday Night Funkin'. I probably would have gotten around to it anyway because it's an indie game that's really much like my style, like rhythm games. But all of a sudden I saw enough people moving all at the same time. It's like, oh, I gotta like, this has to take priority right now. And sometimes that's hard when there's a lot of stuff going on, when you have a kid, when you have a family, when you have employees. But so it gets harder as things get bigger. But, that's the story there. I am curious, is there stuff in Slime Rancher? I wonder if the comments have anything. Me too, dude, me too. Sorry, Dr. Plague, you too. So the analytics decide what is and isn't made more than anything else. Yeah, it's Kodiak. It can have the best lore to dig into and the most amazing theories. If it won't get you that suggested, you can't make it. Yes and no. It's tough, right? At this point, YouTube has made it harder for us to do theories that aren't hits, I think is the best way to put it. There's always a balance, and we talk about this in our consulting stuff, right? But there's always this balance of doing things that are in your audience's wheelhouse that you know are going to get views and or are going to work with the algorithm, that are trending, whatever, versus things that are more experimental, less viewed, less seen, less heard about, less talked about, whatever. And it used to be, in the earlier days of YouTube, that balance was about maybe like, for lack of a better term, like 25% to like 75%. Like you could get away with doing a lot more unpopular things, experimental things, whatever, because the algorithm was less aggressive about policing that stuff, or, your channel was punished less. And YouTube a lot of times will be like, your channel isn't getting punished for doing stuff. It gets punished in the long term by like you getting less visibility to your subscribers or getting unsubbed or whatever. And so it's one of those things that back then you could do a couple off the wall things, coupled with just YouTube being a bigger place now, more channels, more videos competing for attention, this and that. Nowadays, though, that it has to shift much more into popular thing. Maybe you get away with like 1-2 unpopular uploads before you have to go back. And even then, like it's a very narrow window. It's a tough balance to strike. That's also why it's harder for us to do partner shows at this point. Where like I love the fact that we could have the platform in the early days of YouTube where it's like, hey, Gaijin Goomba, hey, digressing and side questing, hey, crossover, all these shows that we would have, even some ones that only had like an episode or two, come onto the channel. You get more visibility, you get more revenue, and we get an extra upload, which just kind of helps keep the channel active. We all win, right? And over time, it was like the channel was starting to kind of like slow down growth or whatever because of those other uploads. And that's sad, right? It kind of disincentivizes channels from being creative, things like that. Anyway, long story short, that's the reason why. At this point, if we had more editors, I think maybe we could get away with it. Because as long as we have a popular game theory to balance out against kind of like an experimental or one that we know is going to underperform. And who knows? Slime Rancher might not underperform. That's why we're always trying new things. That's why we try Power Wash Simulator. That's why we try the Bob ARG. Like, one, it's satisfying for me. Two, it's satisfying, like, because I don't want to do the same things over and over again. I like learning about new franchises. I like doing new stuff. And so to see those do well is really exciting. We've got a couple mobile game ones in the works that I'm really excited about. And those are cool because it gets me a chance to talk about things that are new and different and exciting. See if they work. And if they work, great. We found something new to talk about. So I'd love to mix in a Slime Rancher one. At this point, it's just like there's only so many videos that we can make. And so it's really limited by editing resources at this point. So if any of you are great editors, feel free to apply because we have a lot of videos that need editing help. And that was a long time on this individual meme. Great, moving on. This man will kill all our childhoods, says MimiQ Dreamer64. Babe, I just uploaded another video. Time to get your childhood ruined again. Yes, honey. Oh, yeah. We do have a little bit of a dysfunctional relationship, don't we? You come back. Oh, I made him. Yeah, Bananita. He made mine better. Same. That's that. I'm not going to scroll any further than that in the event that other people disagree with that sentiment. 2 people made their childhoods better. That's all that matters. No, I don't know. I have fun. It's weird, though, to hear that you are the childhood of people, right? That, like, some people, like, to me, I had, like, the Bill Nye's, the science guys of the world, and that to a generation of people at this point, I am that person, which is wacky to think about.
How does it feel to be old?
Wow. I look like that guy right there. I look like the meme face right there. That is me, slowly dying and desiccated. Half past dead, bury me out back, you know, with the MySpace stars, the Viners who didn't transition over.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, not the Viners.
Not anything but the Viners. You know, half the TikTokers who got on early and then died immediately because
it's you, a Triller.
Triller. Wow. I'll have you know, Triller, isn't that still relevant at this point?
I don't know.
Because Jake Paul's invested in it and they're still doing his like boxing matches over there. I don't know.
What's the other one? Musically.
Musically got bought out and became TikTok. Did you know that?
No.
Okay, yeah, TikTok is Musically. It's just Musically 2.0.
Oh.
Yeah, it basically when Musically got smacked down because, hey, you've got a lot of underage kids here.
Yeah.
And also, hey, you can't monetize this because there's a lot of underage kids here.
Yeah.
Again, in our consulting, a lot of companies ask us, like, what do you think about Musically? We're like, no, like, stay away. Something bad's going to happen here. Not in any sort of, like, like, scary way, but in terms of, like, government regulation, where, like, this is not a thing that is going to live for a long time because it's a bunch of teenagers, so it's not financially viable, and also it's unregulated at this point. There's going to come regulations. Fast forward to it being bought by big Asian company and getting rebranded as TikTok, and we see where it is, right? Like, they cleaned it up, it went through this period of transition, but now it's huge. So anyway, long story short, no, Musically is alive and well and living under the guise of TikTok. There it is. Right now we say that TikTok is a thing, right? So like, and when TikTok first became a thing, we're like, now is the time to pay attention to it because of this, because it went through all these changes and stuff. So anyway, Zesdy, he should have chosen his words more carefully. MatPat, when I'm watching alone, it could be a real thing. It makes so much sense. Me being thoughtful. MatPat, when my parents walk in, oh no, we're gonna strip those breasts naked. Yeah, sometimes there are those out of context lines that I just throw in for fun. I'm sorry that I force you to listen in headphones so that way people around you don't have to hear the thing that you're listening to. Yeah, it's funny. Lines like this make me like unironically think that we are one of the edgiest channels on YouTube at this point, which is weird to say because I've never been that person or aimed to be that thing, but I think that not many channels at this point can get away with lines like that. But because we show, it's in animation and this and that, I think we get away with it. But like you look around YouTube and I don't know, like because of all the brand safety guidelines and stuff, you can't get away. Like channels that talk about child murder and stripping breasts naked, like it's not a place where you can do that anymore. And so I'm lucky that we're able to say stuff like that and I guess not get demonetized. I don't know, man. Here we go. When it's like this, I am so happy my parents don't understand a lick of English. Score! It's true. Ooh, here we go. What's this? Star Nathaniel. MatPat says approximately. Oh no, it's a supercut of me saying Okay, here we go. Maybe it's not a supercut. Oh. Hey, if I click play on a video Reddit, I do want the sound up. Just spoiler alert, Reddit. That is a thing. There we go. I don't know why Reddit makes it. And it's wait, okay. And it's that was only 3. Where's is there a time code for this to prove that it's only 10 seconds? Okay. This is a biased sample size. Just say, I say you know a lot. Biased sample size. That was like one short clip of one video, I think. I don't know. Maybe you can give me more. Maybe I say I don't know more. Well, now I'm really self-conscious about it, so I'm going to try to not say it the entire rest of it. Matt, if I say you know.
Yeah. I'll ring a bell.
Ring a bell.
Or like what's like a negative reinforcement thing?
Shock me. Tase me, bro.
The you know taser.
The you know taser. Can we bring that in? Yeah. Can we have like a shock bar, like a cow prod?
I would honestly have a great time doing that.
You would. I know you would. And you know what? Maybe it would make me a better speaker. Maybe that's the reason why Jeopardy hasn't gotten back to me. They're like, wow, well, MatPat, you were going to be great as a host. You're a top choice. But then we saw that you say you know a bunch.
Yeah, I think being wired into some sort of taser mechanism would absolutely make you a more comfortable public speaker.
It would make me more thoughtful with the words that I put out into the world.
You definitely choose your words more carefully.
Oh, certainly. Certainly. It's a good way to get you out of the realm of those little vocal tics.
Yeah.
I am glad that I feel like I'm not someone who relies on a bunch, because that was, I feel like, beaten out of my system early, because in public speaking in school they're always like, don't say don't say don't say you know, I feel like that's the more positive because I'm including you. I'm implying that you are smart.
Yeah.
You know we all know this.
Yeah.
We're all smart here. That's also why I think interesting is my other buzzword, right? Because it's a positive vocal tic, right? It's both of those are positives. Unlike which is kind of neutral and makes you look kind of dumb. I think like is like, hey, we're all in this. We're good. I don't know. That's me justifying my vocal tic.
I definitely abuse like.
Ooh, do you?
Pretty bad.
Are you a like guy? Mm-hmm. I'm gonna pay attention. Okay, we can cattle prod each other, Matt.
Okay.
Will you cattle prod me if I cattle prod you?
I don't want to be hurt physically.
Well, then how are you gonna grow and learn? Excuse me, I burped in that moment. Excuse me.
That was crazy.
What, my burp?
That was just yeah.
Why was that crazy?
It was the silence.
It was a weird silence.
That preceded and followed the burp. Where I was like, what's going on?
Yeah, okay, so we'll prod each other, Matt.
Can my pain be like emotional or mental?
Sure.
I hate physical pain.
Do you have a greatest hits of your regrets? Because if you do, I'll just like play a regret of yours on a computer screen every time.
We can do that off camera.
Okay, great. Oh, you said like 5 times during today's episode, Matt. That's 5 childhood traumas I have to remind you of. Boop.
You have like a slideshow.
Yeah. And this is the time that you ran out into the mall without your pants on. Boop. True story. That is something that is burned into my memory. I was young. I was, early elementary school or before elementary school, went to the mall with my parents. And a mall is an indoor shopping environment where there's a lot of stores all in one collected area. I know that this is a thing that people aren't familiar with anymore because of both COVID and because they've been falling out of favor recently. But malls were this place that you would go to and go shopping. And as a kid, I went through this mall and all of a sudden I see a small child, smaller than me, so I was a little bit older than him, but not so young, running out completely naked out of one of the stores. Just buck naked into the middle of the concourse, being like, woo! I don't know if he was running away from his mom, if this was his chance at freedom or whatever, but like the most embarrassed mother runs out of the store after him, just does the big old mama bear like scoop up and runs back into the store, terrified, petrified of what everyone just saw. And like naked as the day the kid was born. So for whatever reason, that is that's a memory that has been burned into my psyche at this point and has lasted for years, even though it was a 30-second thing that happened decades ago. It's crazy how that works.
I don't think that's very traumatizing for the child. It seems
they
got what they wanted.
No, I don't think it's traumatizing for them. I'm just saying like it's a
for
memory.
You,
yes.
It was traumatizing for you.
Seeing another person's private parts in a public space made me very uncomfortable.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Oh, I see why you're saying it's not a childhood trauma for the kid.
Right.
I mean,
the kid is having a great time.
But if I told you that was you,
yeah.
Really, you wouldn't be like, wow, I'm embarrassed by what I did in the past, that past cringe-worthy thing that I did.
How old was the kid?
I don't know. I wasn't examining him. He was naked, and it was there's a lot of reasons I wasn't looking at him, okay?
No, it seems like the kid wanted to be naked.
Sure.
And it got what it wanted.
I know, but
Great time.
for the same reason, people look back on their old teenage selves and they cringe a bunch, right? But at the time, that was true to you. So it bears the question of like, where does childhood innocence end? I guess this is deep. Where does childhood innocence end? And, oh wow, I should have known better, cringe at myself begins. Right? Because a lot of those things that I probably would be showing you on this emotionally traumatic slideshow that I'm doing to punish you, as opposed to me getting physically cattle prodded and electrocuted, are going to be stuff that is cringeworthy, right? Things where you look at yourself and your behavior and you're like, oh, that makes me feel uncomfortable. Where should I draw the line in assembling those childhood memories, Matt?
I think that I don't cringe at my younger self very often.
Well, what am I going to do to emotionally harass you,
We'll
Matt?
figure something
Okay,
else out.
we'll have to work on it. Okay. Brainstorm ways that I can emotionally torture you on camera for the enjoyment of the internet.
Okay.
For approximately 100 to 150,000 people, hopefully,
Yeah.
assuming this video does well.
Okay.
Okay, great. And we'll get back to that.
Okay.
Great, thank you.
I'll make a spreadsheet.
Good, cool. Who knows? Maybe it'll do really well, and we'll get multiple hundred
If anyone's
thousand.
got any suggestions.
I mean, this isn't a FNAF video, unless there's a FNAF meme in here. This thing ain't breaking 200K.
I mean, it's your channel. There's definitely a FNAF meme in here.
Is there?
Yeah, probably.
Are you promising me?
I don't know.
Matt, you pulled these up for me to enjoy and react to. I love the commitment. There we go. Name a better trio. I'll wait. Calm is food theory. Oh no, film theory is no energy. Game theory is way too much energy. That is accurate. Oh no, name a better trio. Yeah, food theory is calm. Film theory, no energy. Really? Oh no, we got to work on film theory, man. Someone get the defibrillators and shock film theory to life. It's not my fault that the film industry has been dead for the last year and a half. Too much energy. Yeah, this is accurate. To me, all of them have too much energy. Oh, that's great. Let's see. He is gamer. Rick and Morty season finale just dropped. We may saw it back up with energy again. I don't know. I think here's the thing. Actually, all of them are. I was going to say film theory at this point is one of the most experimental ones because of exactly what I said about the film industry, right? Like, Marvel is in this weird place where people are kind of iffy about it. You know, are they excited about it? Are they not? There's the shows. There's an audience for it, certainly, but it's not the heights of Infinity War, things like that. In the television sphere, television's completely broken up. And online videos in this weird place, too, where you have up-and-coming creators, you have some shows that have persisted, but don't really do much anymore, like the Salad Fingers and Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared's of the world. So film theory at this point is trying a lot of different things, and I've been having a good time picking out different topics for it, like Baby Shark. That was a great one that was actually submitted in one of these previous meme reviews, and now, you know, Brittany is now a part of the team, or is auditioning to become a permanent part of the team, but was paid for that episode. But like, it's one of those things where like, I love that episode so much, I'm like, let's do that. That is the kind of like weird creativity and like new looking at IP that I'm really excited about. But you know, we got to cover OWO, which was awesome. That was a lot of fun, and that was another, again, like a small creator who's rising through the ranks very quickly and had a really cool thing that he was doing on his channel. And so it's like, let's talk about that, right? Yeah, but film theory is, I will say, like, it's in this weird place. Even Rick and Morty, right? Rick and Morty historically has been like a tentpole of film theory, but season 5, because of the launch strategy or the quality of the episodes, or people just haven't been as hyped about Rick and Morty this time, probably for a variety of reasons. The new season finale, I think, is rejuvenating things. I think we're going to talk about it, but it's kind of putting the series onto an interesting trajectory, which might revitalize it a little bit. But yeah, when you're 5 seasons into a show, people just kind of move on to the next thing. So a lot of the historic tent poles around that channel have kind of gone away. Game Theory, though, same way, where Game Theory historically was Nintendo properties, right? Mario, Pokemon, and those have kind of faded away as Nintendo hasn't had a lot going on recently outside of like Metroid Dread that's coming out this year. But, Mario's been kind of like coasting along for a little bit. Pokemon's been kind of coasting along for a couple years. Not a lot of big stuff there. And honestly, a lot of the industry and a lot of our fan base and the internet has moved on to either Minecraft, Roblox, or indie games, which is great. But that's also opened us up to be able to cover a bunch of ARG stuff, which is really cool and really fun. And also mobile games. The industry in gaming has really shifted to mobile. And so being able to talk about more mobile properties in a way that isn't just like, it's Candy Crush, it's addictive to your brain, like we did back in the day. It's been really nice to dive into the lore of mobile games, which is kind of wacky. So the assertion that food theory is the calm one is actually true. Food theory, above and beyond all of them, is kind of the most stable because food is food and there's a baseline there. And so we're not, doing crazy stuff, tearing down an industry or this. And I guess we're kind of tearing. We give them a hard time about marketing a lot. But overall, it is kind of the calmest of the 3 at this point, which is interesting to say because it was like the new one and it very quickly just achieved this Zen state. I say this, and then next weekend's episode will completely ruin that. Assuming this goes up this week, which it should, because we're talking about the Jeopardy stuff, but assuming this goes up this week, next week's episode, which we just filmed, is a hoot and a half. It was rough, right, Matt? You were there. You were there for it. It's the one that we filmed. Remember the one that we filmed over there? And it was really bad?
Yes. Wow. Yeah.
I mean, the episode wasn't bad.
No.
But the experience was a ride.
Yeah.
It was an emotional ride.
You're a veteran, if anything. A soldier.
Is that another old dig, Matt? Are you low-key just shaming me for my age over and over again? Because I'll have you know, I just did a cameo appearance for Phil DeFranco.
Yeah.
And he's been on for 15 years. I'm only 10 years old at this point,
He is
Matt.
far older than you are.
Yeah, right?
No,
he's like a centenarian at this point.
A veteran in that you saw combat for the.
I did. I saw combat.
Yeah.
I saw war, and I walked out with a lot of scars. I saw my life flash before my eyes on that food theory. We've done some crazy things on food theory. Some things that have really made me regret some of the programming decisions that I've made on that channel. But
yeah, I don't think I've ever genuinely worried for your health and safety in a video until that.
I don't think I've worried about my health and safety. That episode and riding ostriches are the two that immediately jump out in my mind as the two moments in my YouTube career where I'm like, ooh, is this a good decision? Is this something that I should regret in my life at this point? And then the ostrich takes off, and you're like, there we go. Yeah. This is my life. Or you do the thing that we did in food theory, and it's like, all right, it's nothing we can do now. Just got to ride this one out. Good times. Food theory, calm, at least for another week. MatPat, Killer of Childhoods by Mithri Gaborg. Let's see, this is what we were just talking about. Food theory. Corporations and their branding. Yeah, we're coming for ya. It's true. We just did the M&M episode where we're like, it neither melts in your mouth nor in your hand, M&Ms. It's true, though. Corporations and their branding. I like that food because, again, one of those things that the other channels can't really do a whole heck of a lot of is talk about truth in advertising. Like, we can talk about it a little bit on Film Theory where we mention about how Marvel movies have altered their trailers, and how much can you alter a trailer before it gets misleading and stuff like that. But really, food theory is the place where it actually matters, where they're talking about things that you are ingesting into your body. And so it's been really fun that food theory opens us up to talk about business stuff. And the M&M's theory is a really good example of that. But even this weekend, Steph and I were making jokes about cereal. So Ollie, in his kind of endless search through different music, I've introduced him to Material Girl by Madonna, which just has an interesting sound. He likes female singers, and he immediately latched onto it. And then we partnered that with a lesson about parody songs, because we are try-hard parents that teach our 3-year-old kid about parody songs. And we taught him about parody songs through Sesame Street. And Sesame Street, way back in, early 80s, because it would have been Material Girl, way back in early 80s, did a parody of Material Girl called Cereal Girl. And in Cereal Girl, you have a Muppet singing about how much he loves cereal and how good it is. And there's this repeated line in there about how healthful cereal is, which Steph and I, afterward were joking about, like cereal being healthy. It's coated with sugar and it's all these like carbs, and nowadays carbs are considered to be bad for you, and that's where you get all your weight from and this and that. And it's funny because we were talking about like the line healthfully sweet. There's a couple lines in there about like the cereal being healthy. And the joke of the old cereal commercials, and I don't know if it still is to this day, but the idea of like part of a balanced breakfast. But and that was how cereal was marketed, Trix, part of a balanced breakfast. Lucky Charms, part of a balanced breakfast. And the joke is, it is part of a balanced breakfast, provided you actually provide all the foods in that breakfast. Like, you need the fruit and the like bacon and the milk and like all the things that you actually need for a healthy body, because the cereal is not providing that. But technically it's true because it is part of a balanced breakfast, provided you give all the, and that's why in the commercials they always have to show this like really beautiful table with fruits and vegetables and whatever else on it, so that way you see how balanced everything is. And the truth in advertising thing, and Food Theory is a channel where you can talk about that sort of stuff, and it's a lot of fun. So anyway, it's been fun to kind of take down corporations and their branding. I have another one about what is and isn't labeled peanut butter, because there's a whole, how many peanuts do you need in your peanut butter in order to be considered peanut butter? And also tied to that is people actually don't prefer fully peanutted peanut butter. And so where do you draw that line of, well, people and their tastes actually prefer this level of peanut butter, say like it's 75% peanuts and 25% sugar. There's more to it than that, and we'll get into it in an episode, but it's one of those things where it's like 75% peanuts, 25% sugar. Is that peanut butter or is that peanut spread? What else do you call it? But if that's what people have decided their preferred flavor and taste of peanut butter is, doesn't matter, right? Like, there's all this weird stuff in the realm of food and food definitions that we can talk about. And that's been really cool that Food Theory has opened up all these new avenues of business and corporations and marketing that you wouldn't get to talk to on the other channels, really. What do you think, Matt? Do you like peanut butter?
Yeah, but I only
Or are you a peanut spread man?
Well, I eat like the full, it's just peanuts.
You just do the ground peanuts with like a little bit of like the peanut oil on top?
You gotta like shake it up.
You gotta shake it up
every time. Yeah, that's my favorite.
Yeah, the whole story of the history and legal cases around peanut butter and the definition of peanut butter. Because here's the other thing that factors into this. Sales drop once you label it peanut spread. People want peanut butter, right? Because no one wants peanut spread.
Yeah, it sounds gross.
It sounds gross. And so there's all these backdoor ways of marketing or relabeling products, but also getting like the minimum, like how can I get the minimum requirement to get the label? But also, it's really wacky, interesting research.
It's also I think it's such an American thing, peanut butter. Like other countries think peanut butter is disgusting. Is
it an American? Because peanuts, I'm trying to think, like Thailand uses peanut and peanut sauces in a lot of their in their traditional dishes.
I know that a lot of like Latin American countries think that peanut butter is awful. Like it's to them what like Marmite, right?
Oh yeah, sure. In Australia, yeah. Marmite, yeah. Marmite's rough.
Yeah.
That's interesting. We do have an episode, very lightly formed, but it's on our idea list about the history of ketchup. And how I think ketchup started as a fish sauce in China. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. It was a very brief article that I read, and it sparked an idea in my mind. And so I've like put it off on the shelf for like a later date. But yeah, history of food is also fascinating. I just think where food is today versus where it started is just a whole other can of worms, and how we have like scientifically engineered food into the products that we consume today. Here we go. Ooh, who's this guy? MatPat as a dino. Security soldier, Luna Moon. I like it. Oh, and my little light up light bulb shirt. This is great. I need pants. I need theorist pants or something. That's great. I love it. Theory monsters. Sans' Ness. No. I'm the Loch Ness theory monster. There it is. That's cute. I love it. I'm cute. Ooh, what's this? Lan Steiner 7507. At least there's Wendy's, Burger King, KFC, and McDonald's. Me watching food theory in a country. Yeah, me watching food theory in a country where there's no Chick-fil-A, Taco Bell, Arby's, Beast Burger, Buca de Beppo, Olive Garden, Sonic, and Grubhub. Interesting. That's good. Okay. McDonald's, KFC, Burger King, Wendy's. At least there are those. Yeah, food and food chains, that is tough. And it's tough to kind of balance the like international thing. That's why every once in a while we'll try to do, like we did the Thai food episode. We'll try to mix in other kind of like cultural ethnicities and things like that. And I think a lot of the lessons that you can take out of food theory can apply to other countries. But yeah, it's good to know. I'm surprised Taco Bell isn't international. It is, but in a country. I wonder what country. Landsteiner, I wonder what country you're in. I wonder if that's down in the comments. Same, but on top of that, Wendy's, it's interesting. Wendy's has been one I've actively been avoiding on food theory because I know Wendy's is less dispersed than a lot of other than a lot of these other ones. Like, I know Pizza Hut's in a lot of places. I know KFC's in a lot of places. I don't think Wendy's is in a lot of places, so there's a reason I've kind of de-emphasized Wendy's. There's no McDonald's, Burger King, KFC, or Wendy's where I live. Really? Chintan? McDonald's, Burger King, KFC, Wendy's. So there's no chains except Domino's. See, this is fascinating. Suburban city in northwestern India. Yeah, India, okay. So when I went to India, and granted it was a short stay, I was there for about a week. 2 weeks. And yeah, there's not a whole lot of chains in a lot of the parts of the country. So that makes sense. It's wild to me, though, who is able to get in different places. Like, the fact that Domino's was able to get there is really interesting. I know Pizza Hut made its way to Egypt. It is also always fascinating to see different food places through different cultural lenses. Yeah, this is really fascinating. McDonald's, Burger King, KFC, or Wendy's. I'm shocked that there's no McDonald's. I live close-ish to there. Really? This is so cool. Wow, this is so awesome to see Indian theorists coming together to bond about where they live in the country. That's so cool. And I've noticed this too, and we talked about this in the game theory recently, the game theory that went up last weekend about gaming internationally. But looking at our statistics, India has become a much larger viewing population of game theory, film theory, and food theory in the last 2 years. And granted, watch times in India are low. A normal watch time in almost any other country for us at this point is about like 9-10 minutes, which is normal. That's about what you would expect for a 15 to 18 minute long video. But India watch times are 3 minutes. And I think a lot of that has to do with mobile. And so it's one of those things, should we be doing shorter theories or smaller theories? Especially now that YouTube is probably worried that TikTok surpassed them in watch time, which is a whole nother thing. But it is interesting. But it's cool to see the analytics come to life here, because I wasn't sure how active that community was, or if it was just like, hey, we're showing your videos in India now. We don't know how many like actual loyal theorists are out there. Or like this is kind of an experiment, but it's awesome to see them actually engaging in the community. That's amazing. You guys are awesome. So very, very cool. Meme culture for MatPat, Scarlet Day. Saying "oh like it's meant to be said." That would be the smart way to do it. Saying "OWO" like a dad. That's me. That's me. OWO. Oh whoa. I don't know. I see now the error of my ways when I recorded that episode on film theory. But it's also one of those things. OWO I didn't even think to question it, honestly. I just, in reading the script, and I should have realized it at the time, but like in reading the script, OWO sounded more sinister to me. And me associating that channel with sinister, like the sinister ARG, these creepy videos, whatever, in reading it, I'm just OWO, like, for whatever reason, the cadence just seemed like, when it's just a bunch of letters put together, it seemed more sinister and ominous as opposed to "oh whoa," which is cute and fun, you know? Perfection. Shabab Rizal. Monday. Okay, so you got Girlfriend from Friday Night Funkin'. And then she's been upgraded. This is... Shoot, I should know this one. This is an anime that I have not seen, but I feel like I've seen... What is it? What is it? Is it Rent a Girlfriend? Is that... Here, I'm sure the comments know. Mizuhara, does MatPat even know about... Rent a Girlfriend! Yes, okay. MatPat tends to stay clear of more cultured animes. Yeah, I'm still... there are definitely some certain pockets of anime that I have not explored for a variety of reasons. Anyway, let's move on, shall we? Here's a meme take it. Specialist Wild 9685. It's like a party in a bag. You're a party in a bag. Party that I'm not attending. Insurance is not going to cover that. Oh, sick burn. Is that... Am I the one who said that? Did I say that to Steph? Do you remember this, Matt? Did I say that to Steph?
I believe you did.
Oh, no! Oh, that's so sad of me. Why would I say that? I think I was just, like, looking for something to play off of the word party, and that actually ended up being so mean. Oh, I need to go give Stephanie a hug immediately after we're done filming this.
I think you should apologize.
I need to. Because Stephanie is a party in a bag that I absolutely would love to attend. In fact, I attend her very frequently. As the... Why didn't... No, we hang out a bunch. Like, right now, we're going through a Harry Potter movie marathon.
Yeah.
Like,
That's the party in the bag.
That is the party in a bag. Mm-hmm. We're both in the bag, having a party, and it is a Harry Potter watch party. By the way, 3, 5, and 6 are great. The rest of them, well, we haven't gotten to 7, 1, and 2 again, but in a rewatch, 3, 5, and 6 really hold up. I need to move away from this one before I get in more trouble. Between this and the last one about renting a girlfriend, I feel like I'm just opening myself up to a world of hurt. Here we go. My GT Live, your Reddit theory thumbnails. Here we go. Shadowfax. Oh yeah, because I asked, hey, can you guys make a thumbnail of this? Shadowfax27X. It's a scam. That's, I mean, right there. That is a pretty perfect thumbnail for that episode. Although you gotta watch the word scam on YouTube, it might get throttled. Oh, I'm adopted, baby. Sad baby shark. I like that his smile has been kind of twisted into a grin. It also looks like he maybe has an evil mustache. He's twirling his evil mustache.
Yeah, I see it.
Right? I'm adopted! Evil mustache twirl! Aw, that's cute. Oh, they're fired. Oh, The Office. I'm like, who are these individuals? But I saw the Dunder Mifflin Cup. All of them. Every single one is fired. Sometimes finding a place for the words and the theory logo are really hard. Where's everyone looking? They're looking at this button. Move on to the next thumbnail. Are they looking at the words? They're fired. Oh, Rick is Morty. This is a good one. Yeah, they're the same person? The question on everyone's mind. This has lore? Yeah, Power Wash Simulator. Rough one to thumbnail. Legitimately very, very hard. People in the comments were like, this is kind of clickbaity, and I don't disagree, actually. But also, I couldn't think of... Like, that was one that we went through a lot of iterations on how do we sell both the game and that this is interesting. That was a hard one. To be fair, that was a really tough thumbnail. Because, you see something like this and people are going to be like, what is this? Unless you, like, really know the game and know that this is a power washer, it's really hard. This, to me, looks like a super soaker. Oh, man, the true bite of 87. This poor child. With the beak stuck in his face. Oh, that's great. They did not pop. The popcorn is so surprised. I think it's just really funny. That popcorn is so cute. If we ever do another plushie for Food Theory merch, I would love to do this popcorn as a plush. Just the surprised popcorn face. The Evolution Revolution. Ooh, what is this one about? Oh, about humans evolving into mer people?
Yeah, because of caffeine.
Oh, that's right. That's right. It's the caffeine one. That's right. Yeah, because that's the Starbucks logo. That's right. Yeah, that's true. People evolving because of caffeine. I love it. Oh, and because of Fry, because he had all the caffeine. That's a good one. And then lastly, Luigi's Dark Future. Oh, mixing it up. I like that they're showing each other their butts.
Green Waluigi is so unsettling.
I was going to say that too, right?
It looks so wrong.
It feels so wrong. Green Waluigi makes me really feel uncomfortable. And honestly, if we were to do a thumbnail, that might be the best way. Like, I don't think you even need necessarily Luigi, right? Or any of the, like, twisty, this and that. I would just maybe use Waluigi in green with the L, and that alone would be like, oh, that's weird. Like, that catches my eye. It feels slightly off. I'm curious about that story, you know? Here's Shadow Facts. Here's my critique. The food theory ones are actually, I think, the strongest because they're really clear and clean and crisp. This one's too white. I don't know if this is helpful. I don't know if you submitted these as like, hey, I want to learn about graphic design, but here's the notes that I would have, which is background's too white, and so it's too blown out. I would actually put this probably against a darker background, so that way the white cup and the white text isn't conflicting. You also have a lot of empty space here that could have been utilized. It seems like you knew that this was too white, which is why you put this down here, because now it's more visible, but I would have just recommended, like, just change the background. This one's really cute. I like it a lot. This is a bit small, so it's hard to tell. In a small scale thumbnail, it'd be hard to read. This one is fun. I don't know why everyone's looking off camera for some reason. And also, with a series like The Office, you would be looking to use kind of like a signature character. This one is a bit confusing. I think you could just do one of them and maybe pull them apart or do like an arrow between them. I think this image on its own is enough. This doesn't really tell me, like, this is used for the theory, but it doesn't tell me, without context and without me explaining like why this is important, it doesn't tell me anything, so it feels redundant, so you just focus on that. This is tough. Like I said, Power Wash Simulator was tough across the board. I like this one. You're mixing art styles, which is tough and tends to lead to lesser click-through rate. This one is really good. I like this. Some adjustments to make it look more organic, but overall, I don't know what they did not pop necessarily tells me, so I might work on the text, but overall I think it's fun. This is cool. A little bit confusing as to what it's trying to say, but it's fun. And then this one, like I said, this actually is drawing my focus, and it's too distracting. I think this against a black background would have actually made it stronger. The twisty is actually distracting me away from both Luigi and Waluigi, and you don't need it. The arrows are doing what the twisting is trying to do for you. Anyway, there you go. Bada bing, bada boom. Let's fly through a couple of these because I know I'm going long. I customized my skateboard last weekend, says Basilisco Eve. This is awesome. I can't choose one, so I did all three. Crossing all of them. That's great. Which means that if we ever do a fourth one, we have to make sure that it merges with everything else. That's awesome. I love this. Very cool. You guys are so creative. I'm so honored. Thank you, by the way. Thank you for honoring us on your skateboard. Like, it's so cool for me to see, you guys doing stuff like this and showing that we're such a big part of your life, that you're like going out and beyond to like personalize your own stuff with it. It's really, it means a lot. It means the world. I cannot tell you. Even though I'm old and ancient and dying and being buried with the TikTokers.
Okay, your words, not mine.
Sure. Lance Steiner, sometimes they're really good songs. Theorist team should include the names of the songs that they use in the description. Yeah. Yes. It's just it's another step in the there's a lot of steps in the process and a lot of communication that has to happen, and I think we could do that. I'll talk to him. I'll talk to everyone today at this point about what that would take and if it would be hard. I don't think it would be hard. For a while there it would have been, because every editor was using their own for back in the day I was dictating the music. Then I handed it off to the editors because it was easy for them to do on their own, so every editor was doing it to themselves. But then that became a bit complicated, and so now we have one person who does the music for everything. And so I think we could do it now. It might actually be easier to do it now than it's ever been. I'll work on it. We'll see. And if it happens, it was here. MatPat be like Markiplier fusing into Golden Freddy. It's all coming together. Yep. The Markiplier universe and the FNAF universe are one and the same. Mark is a canonical character, like I mentioned before. He's canonical as far as the AR game. Thought of this a while ago while watching Random Encounters, Cuphead, and Bendy and the Ink Machine musicals. Did you get into a Random Encounters musical? Yes. What did it cost? My masculine. What? I never had that to begin with. Are you kidding? Excuse me. It takes a man really strong in his masculinity to be able to hit those high C's. Thank you very much. Ha ha! Turn it down. I know Matt's like, he's like, you didn't do this during the sound test. Yeah, it's like takes a man to be able to hit those high notes. Booyah. Confident in my masculinity. Stand aside, Thanos. Best of GT Live, August of 2021. Best of GT Live, August 2021, from Mur47. Let's fire this one up, and let me turn on the audio. Let me click it and turn on the audio, man. Okay, here we go. Best of GT Live. Let's see what we got. What was our highlights here? What were our highlights? That is a question.
Actually, I'm a large tier influencer. Thank you very much.
Large tier. Okay, I think Steve and boyfriend are actually having a lot of flirtation going on here.
I was in a rush. And I saw an
clown.
And I was like, that'd be silly. I forgot we were going to a playground.
Although we going to a playground with a knife.
Well,
right? Do we?
To an extent.
Technically. From lunch table to lunch table to invade other cliques just to experience.
It's a science project?
Yeah, to see how different cliques. What?
You're so nerdy.
Man,
it's just bare chesting.
a lot of these are Matt just being salty behind the
it.
camera. Man, you can't write this stuff. I love that none of the highlights are actually gameplay.
My drama teacher in high school said that I talk in trochaic tetrameter.
I feel like they made that up and they lied to you to make you feel special. Because that doesn't sound like a real thing.
Here, this kid has like the weakest heart known to mankind.
He's a child.
This is why
My body and I
He's a
were not on the best of
child.
terms.
Yay! A winner is me. I feel so good about my victory.
No, I don't want to tell it. It's bad. It makes me look bad. I was a child and I...
My skeptical looks of your face. I don't know where you're going with stuff.
And my mom found out and was like, you need to talk to Mr. Green and you have to give him your money so he can donate it.
Really?
Yeah.
How much did you raise?
$12.
Charlie! Charlie, where are you? I'm ready for my paranormal experience.
Okay. Do you want a gold medal?
Do you want a gold medal? I do, thanks.
I can
Do you
see
want
that.
praise? Can you praise me?
Clap.
Praise me. Praise. You didn't give me any praise,
Wearing
really.
boot cut? I
was-
clapped.
I didn't wear jeans.
Barely.
Come on.
It was a
I didn't wear jeans
barely.
until college.
No pants.
Stephanie bought me my first
So
pair of
no
jeans.
No, wait.
This is a whole. This is a story. This is a story for another day. It's a story for another day.
Like a skirt?
Story for another day.
When will they get here?
Oh, hey, we're playing a game.
They should be there in 15
Okay,
minutes.
so we got 15 minutes.
Well, okay, leave me alone about the damn 12 minutes. Wow. So what was that, a 2-minute video? 2-minute video in, hold up, an hour 39, so like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Probably at least like 20 hours of content. We got 2 minutes of good stuff, Matt.
It's pretty good stuff, though.
It was quality. It was 2 minutes. 2 minutes out of 12 hours of content, Matt. Congratulations. We've
Thank
done
you.
it.
Thank
We're living
you.
the dream. Living the dream.
I'll hold the mic up so they can hear.
Oh, they can hear the handshake.
they can hear the handshake.
So they can hear the
I
handshake.
want them to know that it's legit.
I also love the fact that half of it is just you being
Yeah,
salty.
I'm like mean.
You're right. Right? You're just belittling me. It's fine. Clearly the audience likes it.
You
So
make it so easy.
I do. I am. I'm the lightning. As I have often described myself, I am the lightning rod of hate.
I thought you were gonna say Lightning McQueen.
I'm not that cool. I'm not as cool as Lightning McQueen.
Ka-chow.
I couldn't pull off a ka-chow to save my life.
Try it. Give us a good one.
Ka-chow.
Oh, come on.
Ka-chow.
Do it to the camera.
Ka-chow. 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 Ka-chow.
Sad.
Ka-chow!
There it is. That felt good.
Did that feel good? Was that good for you, Matt? Was that satisfying for you, Matt? Are you pleased with my ka-chow?
I just want you to be the best you that you can be. And that's what this is.
Thank you. Thanks for having that faith in me. That I can strive to do better and be better.
You can be the Lightning McQueen of this channel if you really wanted to.
But the Lightning McQueen has been in here the whole time.
Exactly.
It's time I let him out.
Yes.
Let my Lightning McQueen soar! All right, I think that's a good place to break. So anyway, I'm going to go and cry in the corner for a little bit because I don't have Matt's approval. I'm going to go try and harness my inner Lightning McQueen and then bury myself in the backyard with all the other MySpace, Twitchers, Facebookers, whatever. Since apparently I'm dead now. Thank you, Matt. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you, as always, for submitting your memes and videos and art and everything. Like I said, it is awesome to be able to sit on the couch and review this stuff with you guys. It is super fun to swap stories back and forth. I hope that we're not boring you too much. And I hope that you do get at least 2 minutes of enjoyment out of our month of work. And hey, you know what? If it's a good 2 minutes, maybe it was all worth it. Maybe I'll play less video games, because clearly there were no highlights there. There were no highlights in the games. So thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you in the next video. And remember, it wasn't a live stream, but it was a video for you. See ya!